Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. Well, you know what? I got a quick little video today to do. This has been a problem that's been nagging me for quite a while, and I'm going to try to address it today to see if I can put an end to it. So let's go have a look and I'll show you what this is. So I'm over here doing a little bit of maintenance on my estate car, right? And this is what I run into. Every time I try to do this job, I end up with a struggle, and it's getting to the point where I have to do something about it. So check this out. So there's the estate car. I've got her jacked up a little bit, and what I'm trying to do is grease this spindle right here, and also I put a couple of shots in each wheel. So watch what happens. So I have my grease gun ready with a fitting. I don't have a lock and lube fitting on the end, but the reason I don't is because oftentimes the grease fittings I have to grease, the lock and lube just won't fit, so I haven't got one. You end up putting it on there, and you end up holding it with one hand. Now, I can hold it on there, the coupling on the grease fitting, no problem, but now how do I pump my gun, right? Well, I have to kind of hold it between my legs, or you know, stick my tongue out just the right way, or balance it on my knee. Well, it just turns into be a super duper royal pain. And every time I do this, I get cross at myself for continuing to do it like this and struggling with it. So I'm going to try and make a little thing to go on this grease gun to help me manage the grease gun a little bit better when I'm greasing fittings. So here's what I've come up with. I want to put a foot on the end of my grease gun here so that I can lay that down on the ground, and it'll support the grease gun. But I don't want that foot to be so big that it gets in the way. So what I have here is some plywood, good old plywood, right? You can't get along without it. I'm going to try to make a base for it here with a little shoe for it to sit in. And, well, I'll show you when we get there. So what I want to do is drill a hole in the middle of this piece of 2x4 to get a couple of supports to hold my grease gun. Now, how do you find the center of a 2x4? Because it's 3.5 inches or 3 1/4, or sometimes they're all different. If you just set your square on the edge of the 2x4 and then rotate it until you get a number that's easily divisible by 2, like 4 for example, you just lined up 4 on the other side, then 2 inches is the center, right? And then we'll line up those 2 marks, and that's the center. So now we'll drill, I have a hole saw set up here in the drill, and we'll try and drill that right through there. Might not make it because this drill is pretty dull. Let's go. I think we got her. There we go. Alright, once again I get to use the sled on the saw. I'm just going to trim this because this is a dressed 2x4. It's got rounded corners on it, and I want straight edges. So I'm just going to cut those rounded edges off, and then I'm going to trim the sides back a little. Two grease gun holders. In fact, I'm even going to cut them back a little bit more. That's nice. All right, I'm getting fancy. I'm getting fancy now. There's a little ridge right here. The hole saws didn't quite line up, so I'm going to put that on the little sand and drum I have here, try to smooth that out. Not great, but better. All right, one more little detail I want to make on these. I want to make a little recess in the back because I'm going to put a tie wrap in there. So I have my saw just set up just above the fence. I'm going to run it through this way and then run it through this way and hopefully make a little rabbit in the back here. So we've got a couple of more holes to drill. I want to drill a hole on either side of this cutout here to slide my tie wrap through. So So my plan was to make these little saddles. Then I was going to screw them on this piece of plywood, right, to give it a good sturdy base. Well, it turns out the saddles I think are going to be big enough to do what I want to do. So I'm not going to put these plywood bases on just yet. Just going to hold off on those. But anyway, here's my plan. I don't need those screws either. I'm going to put this tie wrap through there and out through there. So the little notch I made in the back of the piece there, now my tie wrap just disappears in there so it'll lay flat. And then I lay the grease gun in here. Yep. And then I join the tie wrap. Oh, look at that, it's too short. Luckily though, I was thinking of that. So we put this guy in here. No. So we put those in there like that. And then the grease gun will sit in here like that. And then, you stay up there. And then that goes in here like that. And then I twist this off here like this. And then we twist this fella off here like this. And now, look what I have. I can set my grease gun down now and it always lays down so that the handle sticks up. Or if it's a little bit of an angle, it's easily twisted, but it stays without rolling around, right? And that was my goal. Okay, my problem was I had to hold that on the fitting and pump. Well, the gun was never staying straight, right? So now what I can do is I can hold it there, put this up against the tire, and then pump. This is really not a great example of how good this would work, but you know, even put it on your leg. If you had to put it on your leg to pump, before it was like wobbly, well now that'll hold it straight. So this little support here, saddle, it didn't work as good as I thought it was going to work because I have the estate car jacked up. But normally I would just, you know, it would be outside somewhere pumping. You just set that down and it lands right side up with the handle ready to crank. You don't have to mess around with it. So hopefully it's going to be a good little aid, but we'll see. All right. Tell me what you think, really. Is this just a crazy idea? Or is this going to revolutionize the greasing industry? Yeah, it's amazing what a fella gets into on a rainy afternoon. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I sure hope you enjoyed this little video about me making a grease gun saddle holder alignment tool. Thumbs up me if you did. Don't forget, folks, have a great week. Take care. We'll talk.